guys, how are you today? We're going to try something a little bit new today, and we're going to see if it flies all the way through. And perhaps a little code I'm talking in right now, but I've seen other people do it, and I've attempted one time, and I got a little whistles here and there, and I don't think I should because I see other people doing it 20 times more. So we're going to take some press conference questions directly, so you don't hear them from me, and we're going to answer some questions. We're going to try it. We'll see how it goes. I think I should answer a question because I got an unusual phone call yesterday, and the person asked me how am I doing? I said, I'm doing good. Everything's okay? I said, yeah, it's doing great. Yeah, sure? I said, yeah, what do you, get to the point. What do you mean? How's your mood today? I'm okay. I'm doing good. Then we started talking. And then all of a sudden it hit me later on that she watched my video yesterday, and it had to do with the my reaction to Urban Meyer. And guys, just so you understand, if my family and my boys and when they see it, they're just gonna snicker and just say, "There's Dad." I react like that, That's just in my blood how I react to things. It's not personal, Although I don't like the media, I don't like a lot of things in life, but I don't want any harm against them, and I forget about it. If I had done that video 4 or 5 hours later, I would be talking just the way I'm talking right now. So again, I apologize that I came across like that, but that's just who I am. That's not going to change. I could try to be as mellow as I can, but I don't think you want me mellow 24/7. Secondly, I answered one of the questions, one of the comments somebody put towards the video. It was a little sarcastic, but sorry about that. And I got a couple emails stating something close to what a person also put a comment in saying that the Jets exactly haven't been great with quarterbacks. So, I should have a little understanding that the media was like that. And that's true. That's accurate. When you have to admit when things are accurate, that's accurate. The only thing I'd say to that, thinking about it a little more, is that, life's a bitch sometimes. There are a lot of quarterbacks that were drafted very, very high. And most of the times when a quarterback's drafted high, where are they going to go? To a crappy team, right? I mean, that's just the story of life. And it's the GM and the organization's responsibility to slowly build around it and make it less crappy for them. I mean, we hear these incredible stories of rookies coming in and being sacked 50, 60 times their first year. Joe Burrow's last year. I mean, there's just a list of quarterbacks that have had that happen to them. But we also have seen a lot of quarterbacks come into those situations and still shine whenever they could. So I blame the Jet organization a lot for things that have happened. God, you guys know I do. But at the same time, threatening not to let a quarterback come here because of the Jets compared to the other teams. Well, last year's draft was a little bit different because of all the trades and all that crap. But generally speaking, what are you going to get? The Detroit Lions, the New York Jets, Jacksonville. It's just basically, the same 5 or 6 teams pretty much mixed in there all the time. And none of those organizations have done good by their quarterback. And my point yesterday was very simple, is that when he was hired, watching the whole Team Tebow thing, hearing the stories of what's going on down there, and then what happened yesterday with the Denver press conference, and then having this poor young lady have to come out and say it's 100% her responsibility. That was the final kicker for me when I heard that this poor woman is out there taking the heat for Urban Meyer being Urban Meyer, you know? So I'm just not a fan of his. I'm really not. I do think he's a little bit insane, you know? And he'll do something crazy in the next 3 years, or maybe he'll bring Jacksonville to their first Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years. That's possible too. He's got an incredible football mind. Incredible football mind. But you got to really, really have some thick skin your first couple of years when you're taking over a team like that. And let me tell you something. There have been worse teams that had the first overall pick than the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, I mean, their situation is on a scale of 1 to 10 for about a 7, you know, compared to some of the crap teams that have had the first overall pick, second overall pick, and how much rebuilding they have to do. So anyway, we're going to try something different today, okay? And we're going to see how this goes. We're going to see if it flies through. For all I know, there's a very good chance that I'm completely talking to myself here, and none of this is going to work. Because if I go to put it and send it, and I start getting back exclamation marks, I'm going to get heated. Really, really heated. Because I've seen that it's no problem for others. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, the first question, is going to be Mr. Saleh. So why don't we go ahead and play that puppy?
So trap play against our scheme it's going to show up every week. Really disappointed first in the coaching staff. We got to do a better job getting that thing fixed as it goes, period. Because otherwise, that was the only run play plus the 18-yarder at the end of the game. Otherwise, we felt really good about our ability to defend the run. But that trap play, we got to get it fixed. But it's something that we're used to seeing and something that's easily fixable. We just got to get our guys used to it because it is a play that they haven't seen in the past because of the nature of the front. But we'll get it going. We'll get it corrected.
Okay. Once again, I don't know if this is going to be like a Saleh thing where it's just his thing to just divert attention away from the players and put it on the coaches, or if he really feels like this. Because in the beginning, I thought it was he really feels like this, but it's happening like all the time now with every single question that's negative. So it's something to keep an eye on, you know. But the second thing to keep an eye on, and he's very open about the fact that traps, you know, there's certain plays that give this defense a lot of trouble. And I think it boils down to how aggressive the front line is, the defensive line is, you know, and then having the 3 linebackers sort of out there on an island, and how the the spacing, you know, the whole thing sort of just creates a lot of one-on-one if and when that running back makes it, you know, through the line. And it's something to keep an eye on. It's something to keep an eye on because we saw it several times. You know, he mentioned how we saw it that one play. I don't think that was a trap on the long running play at the end that sealed it for them, but I could be wrong. But anyway, it's something to keep an eye on, you know, and we keep hearing that from him. We keep hearing that from him. There's certain plays that teams can run against can run against this kind of a defensive set. And, you know, it's almost as if this defense is saying they dare, you know, certain defenses will play 8 in a box and they just daring a quarterback to beat them. This defensive mentality is almost daring teams to run against them. That's it. But it took me a long time to figure out. It's almost as if this defense is daring teams to run against them. And in this day and age in the NFL, with all the passing, there's 2 ways to look at that. Number one, that's pretty neat thinking. You know, dare a team to run against you. Number 2, there's nothing more annoying than watching your team just get run on all day long. So it's a fine line there. But that's what it seems like, because every time he's asked about the running plays, he says the same exact thing all the time. Yes, we'll see this. Yes, we'll see draws. Yes, we'll see screen passes. It's the same thing every time. And it's almost as if they're daring teams to do that. And when you're daring teams to do what's not necessarily the most popular thing in the NFL right now, it's not a bad concept. But as he said, you got to stop it most of the time. So, interesting. We'll go on to the next one. The next question was regarding, hold on right now, Trap coaching. Oh, again, he opens up and you could see he wants to go. He's not sure how to go about answering the question in the beginning, but it's about the offensive line. And then finally he says, listen, let me just lay it out there, man. Here's the bottom line.
I'll flat out say, like, I'm standing by it, especially after watching the tape, and I get grades get floated around and all that from people who aren't in the scheme game planning sessions, but it's a collective. Protecting the quarterback is a collective thing. It is not one position group's job to protect the quarterback. The coordinator's got to protect the quarterback. The O-line's got to protect the quarterback. The receiver's got to protect the quarterback, and the quarterback needs to protect the quarterback. And so if you took, 20 some odd pressures that we had on the quarterback, I promise you, if you divvied that up on who was responsible, you guys would see a clean divide amongst all the different position groups and even coaches. And so we've got to do a better job with the way we, 1, plan, 2, communicate, 3, execute our technique, but 4, trust. Quarterback has to be able to trust what he sees. Quarterback has to be able to make the right reads. Quarterback has to have a consistent set in his drop. O-line has to be able to communicate, execute their technique, trust one another. The backs have to execute. The receivers have to execute. All of them. They all took turns on each of those pressures. Everyone took turns on those pressures, and coaches not excluded to this. And it's just something that we all got to do to obviously get better at.
And there you see the answer. He's like, yeah, listen, here's the bottom line, right? You got to appreciate that. But yeah, it's the offense. It's the coordinator's responsibility. It's the quarterback's responsibility. It's the receiver's responsibility, and of course, the offensive line's responsibility. And you get the feeling of watching his body language during the game that he was not happy with. I start to really notice it towards they showed him a couple times in the middle of the second quarter when the offense was on the field. He's walking down the sideline, just shaking his head, and thinking about it. When I watched the game the second time, I just wondering if he's just saying to himself, why are we calling these plays where Zach is play action and then standing up, and by the time he's doing the play action, getting to his spot, turning, he's got maybe a second. And we're doing the same thing over and over. We're doing nothing to try to slow down this rush. And we can't make the adjustments right now by, pulling the whole entire offensive line or, throwing, well, I guess you could have throw 2 tight end lines in. They're not doing anything differently. So as far as the coaches are concerned, if your guy, a perfect example, you had Becton playing left tackle. I guess you could have pulled the right tackle and put Moses in. I guess you could have pulled a guard. I guess you could have made some switches to see if it would work, but I'm telling you, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. There was just, 6-on-4, 5-on-4, 6-on-4, fast. And they are fast. I got to give it to the Panthers. I'm not crazy about giving other teams, the credit, but watching it again, man, I tell you, they're fast. But you got to make the adjustments, and he didn't. LaFleur was not making the adjustments, and that's why you see that reaction, from Saleh. And you can't beat the honesty, The next thing was coaching offensive line, jitters. Oh, I think I took that video out because it bored the hell out of me. 1 second. I may have to trim this. And then we get to Denzel Mims. And what we're going to have here is we're going to have several Mims because we got a surprise guest.
So a majority of the reps went to Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Barrios. I think they dominated the reps, but part of that is the kind of the sequence of the game in that first half. There are a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of short drives, and because of it, those receivers were able to play. You know, like you roll with your top 3 guys, and if they need a break, that's where the other guys step in. But Mims, you know, he's been doing a good job getting himself a little bit better every day, but he's got to know when you're not one of the main 3, you've got to know all 3 spots, and you've got to know it at a high level so you can step in and take advantage of all those opportunities. So if the Z, the F, or the X needs a break, you're the first one that goes in because you know all 3 spots, you can execute at a high level and you can roll. But yesterday was more of a timing thing where offense really didn't get rolling into that fourth quarter, which is where you started seeing him show up on the football field. We had those extended drives. I think we had a 10-play, 93-yard drive where the receivers needed a break, and it gave them that opportunity to step in and get action.
Robert.
Okay. Now, I know I'm going to be sounding a little cynical here. So, I mean, I just don't know the right way for the Jets to handle this. But the bottom line is that, and you're going to hear it now for the next 10 minutes. I might as well warn you. But you guys put in the comments. You tell me, okay? I'd love to have the answer. I think they just can't come out and say it. And I know Jet fans out there there's going to be a couple Jet fans that are going to be really pissed off with me. But the problem is that I think they have like a problem with Mims, you know, and I'm not one of those. When I hear the media say stuff like that in the spring, a couple guys would say stuff like that, and I'd be like, cut the bulls, you know, stop making trouble, you know. But there's something wrong with what they're saying, and I was going to save this to the end because they all say this. And our special guest is LaFleur, not here, boy, that would be nice. They all say the same thing, but there's something that doesn't add up to me. And that's why I think it's just a major Mims thing. And here's what it is. He says it, then LaFleur is going to say it, and then LaFleur is going to repeat it and add some other things to it that don't make any sense. If I'm trying out for a baseball team, and let's say the position I'm trying out for is shortstop, okay? And I think I could be a really good shortstop. And the guy playing next to me at shortstop is really good too. And I'm supposed to be a little bit better. But I got hurt, you know, all this. And this preseason goes on, and I'm working my ass off to play shortstop because I'm a shortstop. And the coaches have told me nothing other than I'm a shortstop. And then the season comes and I get cut. And I walk up to the coaches and I say to them, "Why did you cut me?" They said, "Well, why didn't you even bother to try to learn how to play third base?" You follow? There's something that doesn't make sense here. The only thing I could think of that can come to a conclusion here is hopefully that the coaches said to him, they said, "Well, listen, Denzel, you got to learn all 3 positions." Because if they didn't do that, and I'm Mims watching these press conferences, I am like, you've completely effed with my brain here. I'm supposed to be trying to learn James Crowder and Elijah Moore's position. Has he really not picked up on is he really the backup to Corey Davis and he hasn't learned Keenan Cole's position? There's something not adding up here at all. There's something wrong in this. There's something majorly wrong with this whole picture because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And the only thing I can take out of it, the easiest thing that I can take out of it without racking my brain over this is that they are just not happy with this kid. Period. They're not. And right now you think, there's some of you out right now thinking that not overthinking. I'm exaggerating this a little bit. It's not that big a deal. Wait. Just wait. Okay? Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to even introduce the next one. Watch the next film.
Yeah, and kind of to follow up, I mean, it's the truth with what Salehs said. He wasn't our starter going into the game, and when you're not a starter, I mean, this whole league, you have to have versatility within the different positions. And he's gotten better. Last week, I thought, was his best week of practice in terms of just having a great understanding of what's going on with X and Z. It's not easy, and particularly for a guy that missed most of all OTAs and then still missed a little bit of training camp. So, and then to answer the, kind of the question a little bit further, we never really got in a rhythm. We want to sub as much as possible. We want to keep our guys fresh. I kind of look at it's like a defensive line. You want to keep those guys fresh, not going 8, 9 plays in a drive. We rotated as much as anyone in San Francisco. We just never really got that rhythm going, and so when you got your starters, when you want to get E Moore going, if we take him out, now it's his rhythm a little bit off. And we didn't have those drives in that first half to sustain enough to really get the subs in the snap count that we wanted.
Mike, when you look at, just kind of following up a little bit on the Mims.
And I should also warn you, the last question, and you could tell the media is getting like a little aggravated with this. They're getting a little bit aggravated with this. And the one thing which he basically repeated what Saleh said, and then he starts to almost turn it around on us, like, but no, yeah, he's getting better. He's getting better. He's starting to learn the other positions. He's getting better. He's putting more work in and practicing hard. And we're like, well, wait a minute. We don't even know what you're talking about right now. We didn't even know you were trying to get him to play the slot. But my favorite part is when he said, we wanted to take, even if we wanted to take Emore out of his, Emore out, you don't want to take guys out of their rhythm. Emore had a rhythm on Sunday, and my point is, I'm not making fun of these guys. I'm not. I'm really, really not. I think they're in a tough spot, and they just can't come out and say it. They like the other guys a lot more. Period. They see the talent we see. They see the big guy, the 6'3", the 4, all the things. I had him in my top Jets, most important Jets video. I love Mims. So, yeah, I'm like the media a little bit here, that I'm wondering, like, what's going on here? And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to pacify us until the point where we'll stop asking, because it's not going to happen. And why do I know it's not going to happen? Next question.
I wouldn't say harder. It's just how many plays are we going to end up having? If we can continue to sustain drives, we'll sub those guys in and out. There's the cool part of it. It's a problem, but a good problem. I do think we have a deep receiving core. I think we have a lot of guys that can play in this league. So whether it's Keelan, Denzel, Jameson, obviously Braxton showed up really well in Jameson's absence. You still want to get him on the field. By the way, you still have Corey and Elijah. So yeah, to answer your question, it is going to be tougher for all those guys. That's why what they're doing Wednesday, today, tomorrow in practice is absolutely so important, to just show everyone that you cannot keep me off the field. And like I said, with just him last week and really the kind of weeks leading up to it, he's been getting better every single week. You guys might not be able to see it because obviously you're not seeing the practice tape, but he's getting better. He's starting to learn this offense more. He was a little bit behind because of again, just not having those OTA reps. Those are absolutely critical in year one, particularly in this offense with the moving parts that we got. I continue, I want to see him continue to get better on those days that I'm talking about.
And I should have said the question. I apologize about that. The question was, wait a second. This is a 6'3", big, fast guy, where everybody sees his talent. What's the problem with the question you just answered is this week Crowder and Cole are coming back. Isn't going to even be harder for him to get action. And you heard his answer. Yeah, it's going to be even harder. He's pushed back further down the list. And you know what? I'm going to rephrase what I'm saying. I don't think it's that they don't like the guy. I just think, like, one part he's saying is that complete accurate. This kid has been behind since year one. And the only time that he's really had time to catch up, let's be realistic about it, is from the time the food poisoning ended and he walked on the field, finally healthy, whenever that was, after the food poisoning, and he slowly was, he probably hadn't even put the 20 pounds back on yet, right? And he walked back on the field, and he's getting into the flow now, right? So this has probably been his most productive time, and he said it too. It's been, he's been getting better and better. What he said in the end was like, he goes, "You guys, I know you guys aren't seeing it, like we're the ones that don't want him to play." That was great. I love the way they turned it around. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, this has been his most productive time. I'm sorry. I may have to cut that part, huh? I just found that so cool the way he did that in the end. I mean, that is like, I don't know if any of you people have been in sales your whole life. He would have been a really good salesman. That was really, really good. You guys haven't seen it, but he's really working really hard now. He's really improving. Well, no, we're asking why he's not playing. We're not, you don't have to tell us he's improving. That was good. Where was I? Oh God, I got distracted there. Yeah. So anyway, this has been his most productive time from the time the food poisoning ended until now. So it's going to take time. That's it. So these questions are going to come every single week, and they're going to keep coming. And I think at some point they're going to have to come up with a better answer just to stop it. They're the way they're handling it right now. They need to put this baby to rest. Because I'm telling you right now, I didn't want to play the questions because of just in case. But if you heard their tone, they're really getting riled up about this. Oh, God, it's just fantastic, great stuff. Anyway, that's basically it. So what do we take from all this? Not much. Apparently, for Mims to get on the field, he is going to have to work his ass off. We always hear, I don't take, I'm not going to speak for you guys. I don't take serious when I hear coaches in August say about a really good player or prospect, this time they're missing right now is crucial. I don't take it serious. I don't take it serious. A lot of us have played sports. I don't ever remember missing time like that, but I remember guys on our team that did, and it just didn't affect anything. But once you get on this professional level into all these little intricacies and all these details that they have, I guess it is a big deal for a position like receiver, for a position like quarterback, for a position like, whatever. Maybe not necessarily offensive line or grunt positions, but apparently it is a big deal. And Mims, any way you slice it, for 2 years, whether it be COVID, whether it be food poisoning, whether it be hamstring, whatever it may be, the guy has missed a crap load of time. And today, September 16th, he's paying for it. And the fans that are dying to see him, me, are paying for it too. They talked about the 40-yard route run, the 40-yard reception that he had. Do me a favor. And just to show you that I'm being honest about it, that I'm not completely in the Mims corner. Watch that play again. Watch that play again. That was the ultimate non-route if I've ever seen one. All he did is went past the first cornerback and just slowly kept jogging, not even sprinting, jogging to what you should do against a zone like that, and just sat and rested between coverage. And he was throwing a beautiful pass and then did whatever he did with the ball afterwards, So we're just not seeing, the route running. And in the video I made about him, I said, it's funny, we haven't seen that explosive speed from him yet. And you wonder why. We've seen Elijah Moore's explosive speed in practice. We have not seen any explosive speed from Denzel Mims. We know he has it. We've not seen any of it in 2 years now. Nothing. And you wonder why. You wonder why. You wonder if the catches he's making is just because of talent. He's in the right spot at the right time, whatever it may be. But we're not seeing anything with speed. And when this all started, even with the coaches, and you heard me like in the beginning on this whole thing, I was flabbergasted, but I just don't think they have they're in a tough spot here. They're in a real tough spot. And can Denzel Mims still be a fantastic, absolutely. But this guy has a lot of work to do. And I hope he understands it. And maybe that's been the problem. And maybe that's when they say he's starting to get it. Maybe that's what maybe that's what he needs to understand. So that's it, guys. That's it. Crazy video. I didn't expect it to be going this way. And I don't even know if this damn thing's going to go, so we'll find out. We'll find out. Okay. Have a great one. Jets, Patriots. I'll have a video tomorrow on why I'm a little more positive than I thought I was going to be. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Take care, guys. Have a great night.